So in an interview that Eddie Hearn did, must have been last week, good few days ago now, he said that Bob Arum's time with ESPN is almost up and that his ESPN contract is gone. It won't be renewed because Arum just isn't delivering the kind of numbers that would be necessary for an extension on that contract. And hey, he's in the industry. He must hear things. He must know things that we don't know. But at the same time, as a competitor of Arum, as a rival of Arum, as somebody who Arum has said a lot of disparaging things about, he isn't always going to be fair necessarily in his assessment of Top Rank. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Is there any truth in your estimation to this idea that Bob Arum's ESPN contract is going to come to an end and won't be renewed? And if so, what are the ramifications for boxing? Bob Arum has a lot of fighters still. Right? He's got Beterbiev, obviously. He's got Shakur Stevenson. Teofimo Lopez, I think, is coming to the end of his contract. He's obviously got Josh Taylor, Tyson Fury, although Fury is not fighting in the United States these days. So he's still got a substantial roster of fighters. He's even got the heavyweight FA Jagba last time I checked. What would happen to these fighters if Bob Arum lost that ESPN contract? Presumably there's provisions in those contracts for those fighters that would allow them out. Therefore, they'd be able to go and join whoever, Matchroom, Golden Boy, Al Heyman, PBC, and so on. That's what I'm assuming would be the case. If their teams have done a good job with regards to their contracts, that should be how it is. So yeah, if that happens, it would be bad for boxing. Bob Arum, as dishonest as he's been, famously he said that yesterday I was lying, today I'm telling the truth, right? He'll never live down that comment. I don't think he particularly cares at his age. But yeah, as much as Bob Arum has been a dishonest person over the years, and I haven't liked the way he's treated a lot of fighters, the fact that he's putting shows on a fairly consistent basis on ESPN and ESPN Plus, variety is great. The more the merrier. You want boxing on as many channels as possible. The last thing we want is for boxing to be monopolized in the United States by one network. We want lots of networks putting boxing on. And that's why I applauded Al Heyman when he first came into the US boxing market for flooding the market with boxing and all these different channels, sometimes really obscure channels on network television. What in the UK is called terrestrial television, free-to-air television. So obviously Al Heyman's vision didn't work because he wanted to flood the market with boxing and then create this PBC belt and basically copy the Dana White UFC model. That's what he wanted to do. Didn't work, but you got to try these things, right? There's no harm in trying. It's nice that people are trying something different. I like people who come along and try to push the envelope. That's what Al Heyman did. Didn't work out. He's now reverted to a more conventional style of boxing promotion, just as Eddie Hearn did, right? He had similar ambitions with DAZN when he went into the US market to try and turn it into a UFC style thing and whatever. Didn't work out. Also with DAZN, hoping to be the Netflix of sport. That hasn't worked out. Certainly not in the US or UK market. So it is what it is. I don't blame them for trying. I like the fact that they tried. Some things are going to work out in business. Other things won't work out. It is what it is. But how's it going to work out for Bob Arum if he loses the ESPN contract? How's it going to work out for his fighters? Will it be the end of Bob Arum, who's in his 90s at this point? His contemporary, Don King, is no longer a factor in boxing. Don King isn't as compos mentis at this point as Bob Arum is. Bob Arum's got more of his marbles still than Don King. Don King just is way out there if you hear him talk now. And he was always a little bit eccentric even when he was a much younger man. But now, Don King's just not there. I mean, it's Joe Biden territory with Don King at this point. So yeah, I'll leave it there. Let me know what you guys think about all the points I've discussed in this video. Are you sick and tired of the mainstream mindset? Does the dogmatic conformity and pathological ignorance have you tearing your hair out in frustration? Then don't be alone. Come and join our brotherhood on Patreon. We stand as a beacon of reason against an army of insanity. You'll gain access to my weekly topical podcast where we take more deep dives than Jacques Cousteau on an endless variety of subjects. There's also videos, interviews, live Q&As, as well as a vast back catalogue of previous episodes, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen via the Patreon app or download in high-quality MP3. Connect with myself and hundreds of other members in our Element chat group. There's no contract, no commitment, you can cancel at any time, and it's cheaper than a Mickey D's McMuffin. Just head to my Patreon page via the link below this video and select the tier called the Brotherhood of Reason. I'll see you over there.